This is the one everyone has been talking about lately. It's already been renewed for season 2, and after just a few weeks, it is Amazon Prime's most watched original show of all time for ages 18 through 34. This is a big deal. Let's talk about Fallout. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the new series Fallout. This is obviously getting a lot of buzz. Tons of people watching this, talking about this. All 8 episodes premiered at the same time, so you can catch the entire first season of this now. And like I said, it's already been renewed for season 2, so we will be seeing more adventures with this. And it's been getting pretty good accolades, both from gamers and from people like myself who have never even played 1 second of Fallout. I'm aware of it. I know, kind of the premise. I know, the little dude. But I've never played the game, and from what I understand, that may actually be to your advantage watching the series, but not completely, because fans of the game are also enjoying the show. So, all right, before I launch into the show any further, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We do movie and TV reviews here on the channel, and just about every day something new goes up. So there's always a lot to check out here, always a lot going on. Please consider subscribing, hit that like button, and comment below. All that stuff, of course, helps the channel out. Okay, so Fallout, like I mentioned, I've never played the game, but from what I read about it, because like The Last of Us last year on Max, or maybe that was just on HBO proper, but in any event, that was sort of the last really, really big game to TV adaptation. We've had a few in the year since. Twisted Metal was a little buzzy on Peacock, but The Last of Us was top tier programming. It was my number one show of last year. And then, this one has obviously gotten a lot of buzz as well. So there's going to be some comparisons, I think, for each show. But anyway, like I did with The Last of Us, I kind of wanted to dive in. Okay, how close is this to the game? How much does this capture sort of the gameplay and the themes of the game and stuff? And so for Fallout, what they've actually done is taken completely new characters, but put them in the same world, the same universe. So the backdrop is the same, the themes are the same, but if you've never played the game, you're not going to be wondering about who this character is or whatnot. And if you do play the game, I'm guessing for you, this may just be a new adventure. So I thought that was an interesting way to go. The Last of Us went very close to what the game was, apparently, and season 2, I guess, will sort of mirror The Last of Us, second game or whatever it was called. But for this, the universe is already there. So the world building, I shouldn't even say world building, the world is great because it already exists in all of these different games, but here we have an entirely new cast of characters. So, we can watch it without having any knowledge. Even if you've never even heard of the game, but heard, oh, this is kind of a buzzy show, I want to check it out, you can watch it and not be at all confused. And I thought that was a really, really clever way to go about it. So for this particular, show or storyline of the game, the whole game is basically about the Great War of 2077. It's a nuclear apocalypse, and it turned us into back to the retro stuff. Retro futuristic is what it's called. And just as an aside, I love retro futuristic stuff. I don't know why. I guess maybe it's because, one of my favorite shows growing up was the Jetsons. And so it was a lot of, stuff that they thought was going to be in the future, which, by the way, I think the Jetsons takes place only about 30 or 40 years away from now. I think it takes place in the 2050s or 60s. So, but it's that idea. And then like Tomorrowland at Disney, I really love. So I love that idea of the retrofuturism. So this show, caught my eye from that immediately. But in any event, so a lot of the survivors took place in these Fallout bunkers known as vaults. And so now we're 200 years plus after the fact, in 2296. And Lucy, who is our main character here, played by Ella Purnell, She is a vault dweller in Vault 33, and she ventures out into the wasteland of what used to be Los Angeles to look for her father, played by Kyle MacLachlan, who was kidnapped. And along the way, she meets, a handful of people, including this ghoul bounty hunter portrayed by Walton Goggins, who we see in the first scene, in the pre-war, but he was this Hollywood actor that has sort of fallen from grace and does kids' parties now, but whatever. But the point is, once the bombs fell, he turned into this mutated ghoul, and now is a gunslinger, a bounty hunter. But she also meets this squire of the Brotherhood of Steel named Aaron Moten. He plays Maximus. And he becomes a friend to her. They don't meet, I think, until maybe the third episode. But anyway, this show also boasts a really stacked cast of guest characters that only are on for like maybe one scene or whatever. But some are on for more. Some are more like recurring. But I feel like I don't even want to give any of those away. I will say Michael Emerson from Lost has a pretty good role. He's more than just a cameo, so I'll throw him in the mix. But it's always good to see him, and he's playing sort of a similar mysterious, let's say, character from what he did on Lost. But look, this show is worth all of the accolades. I will say up front, it's not as good as the Last of Us, but it's definitely one of the best shows of the year so far. Could be my favorite show of the year in 2024 thus far. But yeah, I mean the acting's really good. I was kind of unfamiliar with Ella Purnell, but I was like, where do I know her from? Because I recognize her face. She looks a little bit like a few different actresses. But she was in Miss Peregrine's Home for the Peculiar Children. She was younger in that, of course, but she was also in Army of the Dead more recently. So I've seen her in that. So she's been in a few things. And she was also in Yellow Jacket. So that's where probably a lot of people will know her from. So, but she's great in this. She really is, towing that line between like total badass, but still, sort of vulnerable because she doesn't know this world that she's entering into, and she really is trying to find her father. But we see time and time again, her kind side. When she meets strangers. She's usually, I mean, she'll be a little cautious, but she has, some kindness for them. So I love the character itself, and I like the way she's portraying her as well. You also have, as her brother in this, Moises Aries, who you may know from the Hannah Montana show back in the day. He is grown up, certainly. He's been in a lot of things, since then, of course, but he's really cool to see him. He has a great character here as well. So look, the world design is so fun and so great. Like I said, I love sort of that retro futurism kind of thing. But this is nothing without a really, really interesting plot, and you've got that too. Now, it is certainly visceral. There's a lot of gore with some of the killings and such, and so you can come to expect that with this, as I'm sure they had in the game. But this also is kind of funny. It's funny in kind of a shocking way. Like, it's not like they're necessarily telling jokes, but it's a little over the top with some of the violence and, in a sort of tongue-in-cheek kind of humorous way. And that is something that we really didn't get much of from The Last of Us, if we're going to compare and contrast the two. So this definitely is a more humorous watch for sure. It sort of is embedded kind of in everything that's happening with this show. So yeah, overall, look, this is like I said, one of the best of the year for sure. I have not finished the series yet. I am about halfway through. Halfway through. I've seen the first 4 episodes. So there's more to come, but so far I think this is really hitting the spot. I can see why everyone is liking it. Both gamers and newbies alike, noobs, that's me, for this game. I leave Fallout with an A-, and you can check out all 8 episodes now on Amazon Prime, and we will look for that season 2 coming probably next year, I'm sure they're going to put a rush job on that, right? All right. Thank you for watching Dan Reviews It. We'll see you next time. Bye.